Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Joan Vassos upset by Martha Stewart's diss to her Golden Bachelors. The Golden Bachelorette star, Joan Vassos, is getting ready to visit the hometowns of her final four guys. But Martha Stewart talked about how she turned down the opportunity to be in Joan's shoes. While that might twinge a bit, Joan was more upset by Martha's careless diss about her Golden Bachelors. Joan Vassos isn't okay with Martha Stewart's remark about her men. While Martha Stewart is getting a surge of attention lately, Joan Vassos doesn't appreciate how she talks about her beloved Golden Bachelorette men. Undeniably, Joan has a great group of guys that have been going through the journey with her. However, Martha disregarded them in one fell swoop with a shot to the heart over their looks. She casually talks about turning down big bucks because the guys weren't hot enough for her. But Joan is built differently than Martha. While Martha is parading her unfaithfulness with her husband, Joan is declining beds in the fantasy suites to keep the intimacy more special. Even with Martha's snide remark, Joan wasn't going to stand for it. She is pushing back after the upsetting diss was made. Joan Vassos upset by Martha Stewart's diss to her Golden Bachelors. After Martha Stewart publicly cast off Joan Vassos' Golden Bachelors, Joan wanted to set the record straight. She says, "I DM'd her last night. I don't know if she's read it yet, but I did." Joan tells Access Hollywood on October 22. "I said, dating is hard out there, and I had a great group of guys. She doesn't know 'em like I know 'em. I got to know the inside of them as well as the outside, and both are wonderful." For Joan, her guys were the greatest group any woman could ask to have. The team did a great job of picking them. What they're about and their backstories, they're also wonderful. Joan Vassos can't say enough wonderful things about her suitors. Furthermore, she adds, they are there for a reason. When they got out of the limos that first night, every single one of them did something memorable and made me want to get to know them more. Is Martha Stewart blind? Undoubtedly, Joan Vassos thinks Martha Stewart is missing out. She says, "I guess Martha Stewart didn't watch or didn't see what I saw in them." Then Joan gives her some benefit of the doubt, saying, "Maybe you have to be in person." However, Joan still doesn't understand how Martha could flippantly insult them. Joan says, they are special guys. Furthermore, she thinks many Americans see what she sees. "I feel like everyone's falling in love with them." I'm like, what's wrong with you, Martha? Although Joan is still waiting for a reply from Martha Stewart, she is open to the idea of inviting her to the Golden Bachelorette finale so she can see up close what she is missing out on. However, after dissing the guys, they probably won't want to date the 83-year-old. Joan Vassos had always been the picture of grace and elegance. At 71, she carried herself with a poise that younger women envied, and she knew how to command attention without even trying. But nothing prepared her for the sting of a public snub from an icon like Martha Stewart. As one of the standout women vying for the heart of the Golden Bachelor, Joan had enjoyed her time in the spotlight, until Martha's unexpected diss cast a shadow over it. The Golden Bachelorette season had been an absolute whirlwind for Joan. A mix of nerves and excitement surged through her as she stood among women who, like her, had lived full, vibrant lives. It wasn't like the young bachelorettes on the regular show. There was something more dignified, more heartfelt about the connections forming between the mature contestants and their dashing suitor, Jerry Turner. Joan, especially, had caught the audience's eye with her quick wit, soft charm, and the tender way she seemed to connect with Jerry. Everything was going smoothly. That was until Martha Stewart decided to weigh in. In a candid interview that made waves across social media, Stewart was asked about her thoughts on reality TV's latest darling, the Golden Bachelorette . Never one to hold back, Stewart laughed and gave what many thought was a dismissive wave of the hand. "Golden Bachelor? Please," she said with a sly grin. "Those men aren't anything special. I've met more interesting gentlemen at a weekend brunch in the Hamptons." The sting in her words was unmistakable. And while Martha had her legion of fans who loved her for her sharp tongue and witty jabs, Joan Vassos wasn't laughing. Joan had always admired Martha Stewart. In fact, she had spent decades trying to emulate the queen of domesticity's graceful ways. Her kitchen shelves were lined with cookbooks by Martha, and she often shared her own versions of Martha's recipes during intimate dinner parties with friends. To have someone she admired so deeply take a jab at her new adventure, to dismiss the men she had grown fond of on national television, it felt personal, even if it wasn't meant that way. Sitting in her sun-filled kitchen one chilly autumn morning, Joan couldn't shake the feeling of disappointment. She knew Martha's comment wasn't directed specifically at her, but in many ways, it felt like it was. After all, wasn't she too part of this journey? Weren't the men Martha had criticized the same men she had laughed with, danced with, and even shared her heart with? Joan sipped her coffee, glancing at her phone where the headline blared. Martha Stewart slams Golden Bachelor men. There it was, in all its glaring, sensationalist glory. The media was quick to fan the flames of celebrity feuds, but this one cut deeper. This wasn't just about entertainment, it was about respect, about the value of connections that people form later in life, and about the dignity of love at any age. In the quiet of her home, Joan took a deep breath. She had been through enough in her life to know when something deserved a response. She wasn't one to air dirty laundry or start public disputes, but she also wasn't going to let this one slide. Joan had found something special in the process of being on the Golden Bachelorette, and it wasn't just about vying for a rose. It was about representing women of a certain age with dignity, beauty, and authenticity. It was about showing the world that love wasn't reserved for the young, but that it bloomed in every season of life. The very next day, Joan decided to pen an open letter. Not a scathing one, that wasn't her style, but something that would capture her feelings and hopefully change a few hearts along the way. Dear Martha, she began, her pen moving confidently across the page. I have admired you for years, and your influence in my life is undeniable. Like millions of women across the country, I have looked to you for guidance on how to create beauty, live elegantly, and cherish the simple things in life. But today, I felt something I never expected: disappointment. When I first heard your comment about the men of the Golden Bachelor, I'll admit, it stung. These men may not be billionaires or media moguls, but they are real. They are kind-hearted, sincere, and they, like me, have weathered the ups and downs of life. They have loved and lost, and yet, they are brave enough to open their hearts once more in search of companionship, joy, and yes, love. As women of a certain age, we understand that life doesn't always turn out the way we planned, but we also know that some of the most beautiful moments happen when we embrace the unexpected. This show, in its essence, is about celebrating those moments, about reminding people that love has no expiration date. I hope you will reconsider your words, not for my sake, but for the sake of all those watching who still believe in the power of love, no matter how old they are.